What is up, everybody? I am your host, Ant, and I am joined by my friend and co-host.
Hi, I'm John from the other side of the pond, from sunny England.
Sunny England, and that took us about 5 tries, and it came out perfectly, sir. Is it sunny over there in England today?
It is today. It's been lovely all week. The last few days has been fantastic. Well, by our standards anyway. Maybe it's about 80 degrees, so it's unusual, but yeah, it's been really nice.
Nice. Yeah, over here in Connecticut, it's 83 degrees and the sun is shining, but supposedly there's supposed to be some thunderstorms later, so we'll have to wait and see about that.
Oh, right.
But we are the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, and we are here covering our Attitude Years episode recaps, our weekly Raw's War recaps. We are on our road to WrestleMania 14, and we got 2 more stops along the way. And our first stop is Raw's War from March 17th, 1998, live in Phoenix, Arizona. Happy St. Patrick's Day in 1998, y'all. Pot of gold, all that good thing. Shamrock shakes. Do they do shamrock shakes down in McDonald's over there?
Not in England anyway. Might in Ireland, but that's a different country.
Basically, a shamrock shake, we have them here. And what they do is it's just like a mint milkshake.
All right. So it's green.
Yes, very good. Very, very good. So happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all. And of course, they kick off St. Patrick's Day. We have the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, who is Irish. So there you go. And Ken Shamrock says he came to WrestleMania. He says, come WrestleMania, we're going to find out who's the real People's Intercontinental Champion is. The Nation of Domination then come down to the stage, and the Intercontinental Champion, The Rock, says, I'm tired of hearing Ken Shamrock whine and cry. You couldn't last 2 minutes with any member of the nation. If you can last 2 minutes with any member, I'll defend my title tonight. So The Rock lays down the challenge for Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock accepts and finds out that D'Lo Brown will be his opponent for tonight. The match starts and D'Lo nails a spin kick. However, Ken Shamrock is able to punch D'Lo and nail belly to belly. Shamrock then applies an ankle lock, but The Rock runs in and nails Ken Shamrock in the back with a steel chair. Ken Shamrock then pulls on The Rock again, tells him to hit him again. This time, The Rock nails him hard in the face with a chair for a second week in a row. Farouk then takes a chair from The Rock, telling him enough is enough. What do you think of The Rock, this aggressive side of him, just taking out Ken Shamrock with a chair week after week?
I've actually forgotten about that side of him. Though you're used to the fun Rock. I actually forgot, and it was really took us by surprise when I regressed back to 1998 and watched it. And for the fact that Farouk, it was too much for even Farouk to take. He took the chair off The Rock, shaking his head in disbelief. But yeah, I quite liked his aggression. I like Ken Shamrock though, so I'm a bit torn. I was a fan of Shamrock as well, to be honest.
Yeah, Shamrock was cool. I think this was a good way to kind of build Ken Shamrock. The fact that The Rock is so nervous to take on Ken Shamrock one-on-one at WrestleMania that he needs to try to injure him on his way to Mania to kind of build up Ken Shamrock a bit. But yeah, right now Ken Shamrock looks like a badass, and Farouk's sort of had enough of The Rock. I mean, the past couple of weeks there's been some dissension amongst the group. Last week, Ken Shamrock applied the ankle lock on The Rock outside of the ring, and Farouk let it happen. So things are hitting the fan, and I do have a feeling that Ken Shamrock will be looking for some revenge next week.
Trouble in Paradise, yeah.
Yes, sir. The Rock is not playing. Speaking of someone not playing, Sable comes down to the ring, and Sable says, Luna, you little bitch, I've had it with you. I'm challenging you to a fight tonight here on Raw. Sable says, if you have any guts, you'll be here so I can kick your ass. Wow. Sable's done. After last week getting that makeup put all over her body.
Oh, yeah, so just handcuffed to the railings. Yes. Handcuffed to the ring post, yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that Sable should be calling out Luna, or do you think she's asking for trouble?
Personally, I think she's asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Luna's not going to back down, is she? And they don't play by the rules, so anything could happen, to be honest. So I think Sable is asking for trouble, especially with a rocky relationship with Marvelous Mark Merrow at the moment.
Mm.
You know, not sure he can be relied upon.
Yeah, I think Sable's sort of asking for trouble right now. First of all, you come out alone, knowing that they usually Luna and Miro attack, or I'm sorry, Luna and Goldust attack from behind most of the time. But I don't know. You Sable, I appreciate her calling her out, but not so smart.
Yeah, it might not be a smart move.
No, sir. Next, we have the Phoenix Gorilla. He comes out and dances around the ring. He's the Phoenix Suns mascot, which is a team in Phoenix, Arizona, a basketball team. Really nothing special, just here to pump up the crowd because they're in Phoenix. If they were in Phoenix, this segment would not be happening. But yeah, you thought it was just a random guy, which I love.
Well, obviously I don't follow many American sports, so I just thought it was a random guy in a gorilla suit. I didn't see the connection. I didn't see what the point of it was. But I suppose if you're from Phoenix, it's probably a big deal. If you're from Newcastle, England, it's just came across as a bit random, to be honest.
I feel you. Yeah. I mean, even here in Connecticut, I'm like, what's happening? But yeah, it's interesting. Next up, Tennessee Lee comes out and he introduces his new client, Jeff Jarrett, Double J. And Jeff Jarrett's back. He has a horse. He comes out on, he rides on a horse, which is interesting. Jarrett's going to go through a lot of different character changes this year. And Jarrett's fighting Tom Brandy. Tom nails a running elbow and a neck breaker. However, Jarrett attacks Brandy's legs and applies the figure four, and Tom Brandy taps out. What do you think of Jeff Jarrett going back to his roots and dropping NWA and joining with Tennessee Lee?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I quite like Jeff Jarrett, especially in his later so this sort of era. I think it's interesting that he's got Tennessee Lee introducing him as well. I think that's cool. Obviously, I don't know the backstory so much of Tennessee Lee when he was in WCW, but yeah, I think it's a good call by Jarrett to come back and his gimmick.
The only thing I know about Tennessee Lee in WCW was his name was Colonel Robert Parker, and he was obviously a heel manager, but he also had some sort of like rivalry with Sensational Sherry, so the two of them would go back and forth.
Bit of an unusual rivalry.
Yeah, he was just like they would have they'd actually fight each other, and then he'd fall in love with her, and they just had this silly there's this whole silly thing going on. But right. Tennessee Lee was just a loud mouth manager, and it fits Jeff Jarrett because Jeff Jarrett is a loud mouth wrestler.
Yeah.
I like this better than the NWA stuff though, for sure. It's a little different. Moving right along, we have the NWA Tag Team titles on the line in a handicap match. The NWA Tag Team Champions, the Headbangers, taking on the Rock and Roll Express and Jim Cornette. Now, NWA for a while wasn't a big deal. Back in the day, in the 80s, it was. But in 1998, nobody really cared. So there wasn't really a lot of detail in this match. The only thing I really put was that the Headbangers get the win after landing a stage dive. However, after the match, Bob Holly and Bart Gunn attack the Headbangers from behind. They nail a top rope spine buster and a rocket launcher to Thrasher. And then Jim Cornette takes the microphone and he introduces us to the new Midnight Express, Bodacious Bob and Bombastic Bart. And the two of them attack the Rock and Roll Express, turning on the Rock and Roll Express, kicking them out of the NWA group. What do you think of this formation of the new Midnight Express?
I remember at the time actually watching this, thinking it was a bit of a strange sort of concoction. Bob Holly it was two sports. He was two sports, Bob Holly and Bart Gunn from the what were they called again? The Smoking Guns.
The Smoking Guns.
Wasn't, yes. Yeah, I couldn't think what to call it. So I thought it was a bit of an unusual pairing, but on paper they're both big, powerful, athletic blokes. So anything could happen. There's no reason why they can't go all the way at the top.
Yeah.
It was
craziness.
It was a bit of a waste of a match, really. To be honest with you, could have just I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the Rock and Roll Express, to be honest with you. Anyway, at that stage, because I was in England, we didn't get much knowledge of NWA. So the Rock and Roll Express to me were just two, past it wrestlers. They weren't particularly famous in the UK, so I didn't really mind that they got beaten up by the new Midnight Express.
Yeah, this didn't really do much. I think this was just kind of like, I don't know why WWE was so focused at this time to push NWA kind of down our throats, but there's kind of like like you said, there's really no point to this. It's just a way to showcase the new Midnight Express.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we come back to the Phoenix Gorilla, and Kane comes out, and he's had enough of the Gorilla, and he actually choke slams him. So goodbye, sir. Have a nice trip. Kane is pissed, with the Undertaker coming back, and this isn't a good sign for Kane. We then have the War Zone, which I always found interesting because it's like things are gonna get a bit spicier now, I guess, as it gets later in the night. And Owen Hart joins the commentary table. Owen has a cast on his foot after he got injured. We have the WWF Tag Team Champions, the Tag Team Champion Badass Billy Gunn with the Road Dogg taking on Chainsaw Charlie. And before the match can start, the New Age Outlaws bring out a dumpster. Billy Gunn chops Chainsaw Charlie as Road Dogg trashes him on the microphone. Chainsaw Charlie ends up hitting a DDT and a second one as well. And then the Road Dogg hits Chainsaw Charlie with a belt, causing a disqualification win for Chainsaw Charlie. After the match, Charlie ends up hitting a DDT on Billy Gunn on the tag team title. And then Chainsaw Charlie ties the Road Dogg upside down on a rope on the stage. Yeah. Cactus Jack comes out and says, I don't know how to get you down, so I guess your ass better call somebody.
Yeah.
I've
rewound that bit a few times. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. What did you think of that whole shenanigans going on with the New Age Outlaws?
Yeah.
Finally, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie are getting their one-uppers, it seems.
Yeah, for me, that was the best part of the episode. The way hog-tied, the way Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie had hog-tied, my mind's gone blank, Jesse James upside down. Yeah, and actually winched him quite high in the air as well. It's quite James. I don't think you get away with that today. I don't think they'll be able to do it today. And then Cactus Jack saying, I don't know how I'm going to get you down, so your ass better call somebody. Bang, bang. Yeah, brilliant.
That was perfect.
I had me in stitches. I just rewound it. I must have watched it about 6 times. It was great.
No, it's great. And it's funny because now that is something that Cactus Jack would do. So it did look believable, him hanging someone upside down. If it was a random person, you wouldn't believe it. But yeah, this rivalry is intense, man. Every week they're getting more and more out there when it comes to doing crazy things. We then go to Luna, who's backstage with Goldust. And Luna says, no one tells me what to do or when to do it, you ignorant slut. I'll give you a makeover when I decide to. Damn. Luna is not happy with Sable.
Yeah, just livid.
Just
livid.
Yeah. Well, Vince McMahon comes down too. And Vince says Stone Cold Steve Austin was unprofessional last week. Stone Cold was stunned by Shawn Michaels getting Mike Tyson and D-Generation X. And Vince says, I didn't hit Stone Cold last week because I do things professionally. I was saving the WrestleMania main event. How could Stone Cold compete at WrestleMania with a broken jaw? Vince says, I do what I do for the WWF fans all over the world. Who knows what would happen if I took Stone Cold Steve Austin down? If Stone Cold becomes champion, the way we know. Oh, if Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes champion, the way we know him now, it would be a corporate nightmare. Yeah. And Kevin Kelly keeps asking Vince if he wants Stone Cold to be champion. Vince eventually says, "Oh hell no," and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's the bottom line because Vince McMahon said so.
So he stole out there, hasn't he?
Dude, what do you think of that? He has some balls, huh?
Yeah, he's just stacking the odds against Stone Cold for WrestleMania, isn't he? Mike Tyson joining DX as the special enforcer. The chairman of the WWE not wanting Stone Cold to win, so he's just stacking the odds even further against Stone Cold there, I think.
And how much of a dick is he to just be like, oh, if I put my hands on Austin, he'd be, buddy, you were a coward. You didn't do anything. So it's funny to see Vince pretty much use that excuse of, oh, I don't want to ruin the main event. He would have a broken jaw if I did it. But I'm surprised Austin didn't come out right away with that. I thought Austin would come out and just, beat him up. But I guess
I was expecting him to come out and deliver the stunner.
Yeah. Well, as someone who we weren't expecting to come out in this next segment was Triple H. He comes out and he says, Owen, first you take my title and hide behind a commentary table. Are you really a man? A man wouldn't run or hide. I'm challenging you to put your title on the line. There's nothing wrong with your leg. You are a coward. And then Triple H pushes Owen Hart off of the chair that he's in at ringside, and the two fight at ringside. Owen sends Triple H into the steps, and now the European title is on the line. The champion Owen Hart defending against Triple H. Match starts, and China ends up nailing Owen Hart's ankle with a baseball bat. And then Triple H applies an ankle submission, and the referee stops the match. And Triple H is your new European champion. Mm-hmm. Triple H tells Owen Hart to suck it. So finally, Triple H is able to get what he wants, and in normal Triple H fashion, using China to help. What do you think of this?
Yeah, it was interesting. It wasn't the best match of the evening, but I'd forgotten how evil China actually was, to hit Owen Hart on his bad ankle to put him out of action in order for Triple H to win. I knew she was always sort of a badass, but I didn't realize how much of a badass. And I remember at this point actually not really liking Triple H at this point, so I was rooting for Owen Hart.
Yeah, and like he attacks, dude. How the hell is Owen gonna win with that
exactly
cast or whatever the hell it was, the boot? Like, makes no sense.
He had like a moon boot on, didn't he?
Yeah, it was poor Owen, but yeah, I don't know. I think from what I heard from Josh, I think Owen had sustained a ankle injury.
Well, the week before,
I think
he jumped off the rope and landed awkwardly on his ankle.
Yeah, I think there was a moment where like he slid out of the ring and like something happened outside and he really hurt his ankle. And I think that's why they dropped the title right away. But like he wasn't even supposed to be wrestling at WrestleMania 14, but he still did it. Yeah. Well, more shenanigans will happen next week with these two. We then have Sable and Luna. They come out and the two of them brawl in the ring. Goldust then saves Luna, and Sable is selling her ankle like she's in pain and she can't move. Kane then comes out. He looks at Sable, but then the lights go out. Undertaker is on top of the Titantron. And Undertaker says, I will strike down upon thee with anger and vengeance. You will know my name as Lord of Darkness. I felt your wrath. Now you'll feel mine. And then the Undertaker sets a bolt of lightning onto a casket with an effigy of Kane in it, and he sets that casket on fire, similar to what Kane did to the Undertaker at the Rumble. What did you think of all of this?
Can I just ask, and I wrote this in my notes, and I've been meaning to ask. Obviously, I've missed something at some point. Why was Goldust introduced as the artist formerly known as Goldust?
So
I couldn't remember.
It's fine because there's probably it's hard to understand. It's weird. So like during the end of like 97, he started every week coming out in costumes and doing weird things. Remember?
Like a Game Boy had a pool ball in his mouth, or he's brightly colored.
Yes. And he basically was going by like the artist formerly, kind of like how Prince, how Prince changed his name and he did the whole like he was just sort of like weird. So it's just kind of I think it was just sort of a way to kind of like the artist formerly known as Goldust. Like he's different than Goldust. He's doing
well, he came out not in character, didn't he? For this, he came out as his actual self.
Yeah,
he wasn't in the Goldust costume, was he? If I remember rightly.
Yeah,
you're right. In his jeans and a t-shirt, right? Right. Well, actually, that's that up. Yes.
And they were doing that too, like the couple weeks when they were separating Luna and Sable from each other, and Miro ended up punching Goldust. Goldust wasn't in costume either then as well. So he's been doing some different things, and
Right. Yeah.
it happens. But what'd you think of Undertaker and Kane? Undertaker saying that casket on fire.
Yeah, it was impressive. He sort of appeared on top of the Titantron, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The Taker. Is that this? That's that one, isn't it? Yeah. The Kane and Bearer in the ring. Undertaker appears from nowhere on top of the Titantron. Delivers his dark speech. Yeah, it was impressive. And then the casket that goes up in flames with an effigy of Kane inside. Yeah, I would imagine if you're actually there in the audience watching that live, it would be actually intimidating.
That would have been really insane and crazy. And
Yeah,
when I saw the Undertaker live, it's like a weird experience because you just feel like everything just sort of like gets quiet and everybody knows he's coming, and you get these sort of like goosebumps because you're excited.
yeah,
And, you know, you get to see him. And I know even Kane said, like, whenever he was, getting ready to face Undertaker, he always got nervous when he'd come down because he knew like how big Undertaker was, in the sense of like he was going to be fighting a top guy, and that was really cool.
yeah,
So, yeah, but I really think this is a very cool storyline, just the use of all these props and everything to kind of get this idea of both of them having sort of like superpowers from the dark side. They both look similar in stature. I remember being like, I can't wait for this match at Mania. Also, the build-up, Undertaker wasn't gonna fight him. He had enough. Now he's the Lord of Darkness. He's gonna strike down vengeance and anger. So,
yeah.
before we wrap up, what was your favorite moment of the night?
Favorite moment for me was seeing Road Dogg Jesse James hog tied upside down, 10 foot above the ramp.
That was funny. I mean, I would be scared for my life. He literally was about to like
It was
drop it first.
if that rope I'd give way would have landed right on his head. For
Yeah,
real.
he would have been out cold.
Yeah.
My
That was a
favorite
good
moment.
moment.
I liked the Undertaker setting the effigy of Kane on fire. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
That was good, yeah.
Good way to keep the rivalry going. And we are going to keep on going. Our next episode will be dropping on, should be here by Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. It will be our next stop will be Raw's War, another Raw, which will be March 23rd, 98. They're going to be in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, right.
Where
Really close to WrestleMania 14.
That's right. My mom's my fiance's mom is there. So Arizona, here we go, Tucson, and then we have WrestleMania in Boston. A lot happening. Also for our WrestleMania recap and review, we will be giving our top moments of March 1998 in pop culture, talking about movies and music of that time, bringing you back to March of 98. Well, John, thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit the notification bell on YouTube to stay notified when new content is created. Also, check us out on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever podcasts are available and streaming. And until next time, stay safe. Peace in the streets. Bye, y'all.
Bye for now.